Hey everyone, I just thought I would shoot a little quick video on a super ultralight sharpening system for my knife that's been bouncing around in my head. And when I say super ultra lightweight, I really mean it. All you have to carry for it is that plus your belt. And I don't know about you, but I wear a belt when I come out normally. So really, the only added weight for this sharpening system is this, which is just 3 pieces of wet and dry sandpaper. This is what I use most of the time when I'm sharpening at home. But at home, I have a table or something to put it on, a nice flat surface. Kinda don't think I'm gonna find a table out here too easily. But, you know, with my knife, if it's not so dull already that it can't be used, pretty easy to whip myself up something like this. Now this is just a baseboard that I've been using, you know, get a little bit of fly-by friction practice. Though I'm starting to suspect it should really be called fire by pain. Man, my hand was hurting this morning. This opnil hasn't been sharpened in ages, and I've been using it for wood carving for the weekend. But to be honest, it's still pretty sharp. These opnil carbons have some pretty good edge holding capabilities. So, but back to the actual system. All I've done is I've taken a piece of softwood. Doesn't necessarily have to be soft, but you know, having a soft piece of wood to carve for this just makes it easier. All I've done is I've made it flat this way, though it's not perfectly flat. Doesn't necessarily need to be. And I've made it flat this way. Not entirely flat, doesn't necessarily need to be. Because I got a little trick for getting around that comes from using stones and stuff. Now, because it's still quite sharp, I'm just going to use a 150 grit. I couldn't find the 2000 that's super cheap, oh well. And now I've got a nice, reasonably flat surface. I'll just, you know, hold that to my chest for a bit of stability. If I want to be really stable and I don't feel like freehanding it, I can poke the other end into a tree or something for a bit of stability, and I just use it the way I would at home. Now, because this is a piece of wood that I've carved, it's not perfectly flat. So that makes it important to only sharpen going away from the blade. Which also makes it a bit less likely for you to cut yourself, which is another added benefit. But just because it's an uneven surface, it's not perfectly flat, we want to be sharpening away from ourselves. Now, like I said, this knife is still pretty sharp, even though it hasn't been sharpened in ages, and it has been getting used for wood carving. So I'm just using the 150 grit, but you know, it's the same for all your different grits. Now, I do like using the 90-degree angle just to, you know, sharpen it one point at a time. You know, but it still works fine with if you want to, you know, sharpen the flat surface. Because this is so thin and the paper's so wide, I can wrap it around just to make sure it stays on there. Now, this might be a little tricky for people who can't sharpen freehand, just because, you know, you're not working with a stable platform, you're not working with an even platform. Nope, still needs more. Yeah, it's getting there. Not that sharp. If I really wanted to be pedantic, I would have it cleanly taking all the hair off easily. But you know, this is 1500 grit and it's not stropped yet. So, how about we knock off the burr and strop it? You know, just to knock off the burr, it's just a simple matter of, you know, I'll use a section over here that's not for this, but that should knock off the burr. No. Honestly, your hand's not a good test medium for this. Alright. It's getting there. Oh well, it's getting there. And so, now let's strop it. Strop it, just gotta use my belt. Just gotta put my belt around the tree. Now, I am at a... Whoa, this thing... Like... Yeah, this thing needs some dubbing. Yeah. I wear a crocodile skin belt. So I can't really, I cannot strop on this side. All those scales, no way. So I've only got the sides and the back to strop with, but oh well. I wonder if out there someone's freaking out because I'm using a crocodile skin belt to strop. You know, if someone actually out there knows how much one of these is worth. I don't care. I don't know. This thing's been getting pretty worn. Really needs some dubbing. Oh well, if I wear this thing down to the point where it's no good, I'll save it, maybe make some bracelets out of it. And make myself a new belt. No big deal. Didn't make this one, but yeah. I ain't paying for it anymore. Alright. Oh yeah. That is sharp. Now, if you're not... Now, if you've never done this before, you know, testing sharpness on your hand or your arm, yeah, if you've never done this before, definitely do not test for sharpness over your wrist. That's a very bad idea. Some people test their arm, but you know what? That is kind of a dangerous thing to do. You know, there is a chance of cutting yourself, and whatever you do, definitely do not try testing on the hair on your wrist. Because if you slip and get a horrible gash along your wrist down the middle of the bush, yeah, I'm gonna have to categorize that kind of event under really bad. But, yeah. But seriously guys, this is just... Oh man, that is just so scary sharp. Yeah, it's pretty quick, very cheap, very lightweight. In fact, if you took the effort of cutting the sandpaper out into nice rectangles, you could, I guess, have the rough sides facing each other, pop a paper clip on it, and slide it down into your knife sheath where your knife goes. Because it is just so small and so lightweight. And sandpaper is very cheap. Now some alternative options some people might carry would be a diamond rod I do not like those because, well, I've never seen one with a grit written on it, and I have never seen one that I think would be as fine a grit as a 2000 grit. And to be honest, that sandpaper works great, and I know what grit it is, and I can get 2000 grit sandpaper pretty easily, as long as the places I buy my sandpaper from have got it in stock. And because I can get in such a high grit, I know I can put that really fine edge on my knife. Another thing people carry is those metal blade scrapers. I don't like those. Yeah, no. I want to be able to hone and put a really nice edge on my blade. Those just strip metal off. They do not hone or polish a fine edge. No thanks. I much prefer my sandpaper. I get much better results with it. Alright everyone. See yous.